Well, look what we have here. A small bag with a Ruger logo. That's nice. What's in this pocket? These look like Glock G17 magazines and Glock G26 as well. What the heck? Let's open the bag. What's this? A Nikon P223 scope. Things are getting really interesting. Well, that looks like a rifle butt, if I ever saw one. Huh, looky here. Here's half of a firearm with a crossfire red dot sight mounted. Let's see if there's another half. Yep, there sure is. I wonder what I'll have when I put these things together. It is sure not a Ruger 1022 takedown. I'm sure of that. I'm sure that you know already by the thumbnail photo. It's the Ruger PC Carbine. You might be asking yourself, that with all of the reviews, videos, and written, why would I produce a video review of the Ruger PC Carbine at this time? The explanation is simple, really. With the advent of the new Smith Wesson M&P FPC, I needed to take a look at my Ruger PC Carbine that has been in the safe for a while. Since I'm not one of those lucky ones who receive T&E guns for review, I needed to determine if the Ruger PC Carbine was still relevant. The Smith & Wesson M&P FPC exhibits a tactical look and feel, plus the fact that it can be folded in half for easy storage and just as easily put into action, while the Ruger PC Carbine is built on a familiar two-piece takedown platform, similar to the 1022 and Charger takedown. The Ruger PC Carbine has that rugged Ruger feel to it, and the look of the Ruger PC Carbine is of a more politically correct pistol caliber carbine, in that the style has more of a traditional look and feel. At first glance, without a magazine hanging out of it, it does kinda sorta look like the Ruger 1022. Insert a magazine full of 9mm cartridges into it, however, and it begs to be treated like the 9mm semi-automatic carbine it is. Simply pull the trigger for each cartridge to see how fast you can unload the magazine. You will tend to shoot more 9mm than you may intend to. So, let's take a look at the features of the Ruger PC Carbine and my thoughts on each of them. I am going to approach the features of the Ruger PC Carbine from a talking point and response method. The talking point is from Ruger, while the response to the talking point is mine. The Ruger PC Carbine includes interchangeable magazine wells for use of common Ruger and Glock magazines. Ships with a magazine well for SR series pistols and Security 9 magazines. An additional magazine well that accepts Glock magazines is included. A Ruger American Pistol magazine well is available at shopruger.com. My first step was to change out the installed magazine well with the Glock magazine well. The swap out took less than 3 minutes. The Ruger PC Carbine will run Glock magazines from Glock G26 on up to 33-round Glock magazines. Easy takedown enables quick separation of the barrel fore-end assembly from the action for ease of transportation and storage. One of the key features of the Ruger PC Carbine is the takedown capability. Pull and lock the bolt to the rear, or just simply move it to the rear slightly enough to clear the breech face. Push the locking lever forward a bit, rotate the barrel forearm assembly clockwise, and then remove the barrel forearm assembly from the firearm. When reassembling, simply reverse the procedure. Pull and lock the bolt to the rear, or just simply move it to the rear slightly enough to clear the breech face, and then twist the barrel forearm assembly in the counterclockwise direction until it locks into place. There is a barrel tightening ring that needs to be checked every now and then to ensure that the barrel forearm assembly is correctly fitted. Usually, just a nudge with a fingernail is all that is needed. The dead blow action features a custom tungsten dead blow weight that shortens bolt travel and reduces felt recoil and muzzle rise. The bolt is machined from heat-treated chrome moly steel to ensure strength, structural integrity, and durability. The Ruger PC Carbine's bolt looks like the 1022 on steroids. It is, of course, a centerfire bolt rather than rimfire. The Ruger PC Carbine has a reversible magazine release. Handy for a lefty, but also for us cross-dominant people. The magazine release button that is located on the left side lends itself to right-handed operation when shooting left-sided, which is something that I am used to. I simply reach around the mag well area, locate the button with my trigger finger, and push inward to release the magazine. The magazine release works well with both SR9 and Glock magazines. A reversible charging handle supports ambidextrous use or one-handed control manipulation while maintaining a proper firing grip. If you are cross-dominant and shoot lefty while being a righty, the charging handle can be operated quite well with the right hand while also keeping your grip with the left hand. The cold hammer forged chrome moly steel barrel with ultra-precise rifling provides exceptional accuracy, longevity, and easy cleaning. The heavy contour barrel provides consistent accuracy, while barrel fluting sheds unnecessary weight and allows for quick handling. The barrel is quite nice looking with the flutes, and with me being a player of Native American style flutes, I can appreciate them, which has absolutely nothing to do with this barrel. The barrel length adds a good look and a balanced feel to the firearm. The Ruger PC Carbine has a 1/2 28 threaded barrel with included thread protector, which allows for use of standard muzzle accessories. Some folks would like to hang a can, flash hider, or muzzle brake on the end, and this barrel has provision to do so. The barrel is nicely paired with the angled forearm assembly that has a mild texturing in the hand-holding area. The forearm also incorporates a short front accessory rail and a sling swivel mount. There is an accurate sighting system with adjustable ghost ring rear aperture sight and non-glare protected blade front sight. I find the rear sight to be a little too far forward to be an effective ghost sight, but it is adequate for its intended use. As was stated, the rear sight is fully adjustable for windage and elevation. Right behind the thread protector is the front sight, which is a blade type and which is protected by a wing on each side of the blade. A soft rubber butt pad with spacers allows the rifle to be properly sized for different shooters or varying levels of outerwear or defensive gear. 3 1/2-inch spacers are included. The Ruger PC Carbine came with one spacer installed, which should serve most folks. I adjusted the stock length for my particular need. More on that in a bit. A durable, glass-filled nylon synthetic stock features sling swivel studs for rapid sling attachment and forward-mounted accessory rail to allow for a variety of underbarrel accessories such as lights or lasers. The grip features a proprietary texture for enhanced control. The front accessory rail is very small, but should be adequate for most accessories. However, no suitable Slim Jim snack holder is included, nor is one offered. The Ruger PC Carbine exhibits a light, crisp trigger pull with minimal over travel and positive reset, utilizing proven 1022 trigger components. The trigger is smooth, but slightly mushy with a crisp break and no over travel. The beauty of the PC Carbine is that you can dry fire it with or without snap caps, unlike the 1022 that does require snap caps or other means to protect the firing pin and chamber. The receiver is a CNC milled from an aerospace grade 7075-T6 aluminum billet. The receiver includes an integrated Picatinny rail and is Type 3 hard-code anodized for maximum durability. The integrated Picatinny rail is a good addition to the design, as a lot of folks these days mount optics. Also included is one SR Series pistol magazine and hex wrenches for rear side adjustment, butt pad spacer adjustment, and charging handle removal. Since I have a Ruger SR9 and SR9C, the magazine will not go to waste. This PCC is destined to use Glock magazines, however. The rear side adjustment wrenches are easily misplaced or lost unless you secure them with the firearm. Once you adjust the stock to your liking, you will probably throw no longer needed spacers in the miscellaneous bin, as I did. The charging handle removal wrench has been long integrated into my miscellaneous hex head wrench drawer of the toolbox, where it languishes with about 100 other miscellaneous hex head wrenches. The charging handle remains on the right side. The wrench was not needed. Now that the Ruger talking points are out of the way, let's continue on. Fully assembled, the Ruger PC Carbine only weighs 6.8 pounds. Adding an optic will increase the weight a bit. The Ruger PC Carbine seems to feel well balanced, whether empty or filled up with your favorite ammunition in your desired magazine. The length of pull, or LOP, is adjustable from 12.62 inches to 14.12 inches, and I found that I really did not mind the shorter LOP than what I prefer, which may be due to the firearm's design being more conventional in nature over a pistol grip style of stock. As you may discern from the image, the bolt is quite substantial. The Ruger PC Carbine is rated for all types of 9mm ammunition, including plus P. The dead blow weight within the bolt aids considerably with transitions from chambered to recoil and back to chambered. It is important to note that when assembling the receiver to the stock, the two mounting screws should be tightened to 65 inch-pounds to ensure proper seating. The stock, by the way, is checkered in the grip and forearm, which aids in holding on to the thing with wet hands. The safety button is located in the forward trigger guard area and operates like any 1022 Ruger safety. Push left to fire, push right to safe. Being a left side shooter, I use my support hand to push the safety to the desired position. The bolt lock is a definite improvement over the one found on the 1022. It is easily found just forward of the trigger guard. I use my strong hand to push the bolt to the rear position and use my left hand trigger finger to push the bolt lock to the up position to lock the bolt open. To release the bolt, I do so with my strong hand. While the charging handle is ambidextrous, I have found no issue with my leaving it as it came installed, on the right side. Overall, the Ruger PC Carbine is nicely styled. The grip area is sufficient and well formed. The firearm is nicely balanced, feels good when carrying, and comes to the shoulder very quickly. As with any blowback operated firearm, the bolt and receiver will get extremely dirty and will require disassembly and cleaning. My best advice here is to follow the instructions provided by Ruger for removing the bolt from the receiver and subsequent disassembly of the bolt. Care must be taken to ensure that no springs or other components are lost in the process. Maintenance consists of performing a safety check, disassembly, cleaning and lubrication, assembly, and function testing. Rather than waste your precious time here, I'm going to steer you to 4 videos produced by Ruger: Tech Tip, PC Carbine Disassembly, Tech Tip, PC Carbine Cleaning, Tech Tip, PC Carbine Reassembly, and Tech Tip, PC Carbine Adjustments. I have placed links to each of these videos in the description section that you can click on to view each Tech Tip video. The proof is in the pudding, as they say, so let's see what kind of pudding I can cook up at the range with the Ruger PC Carbine. The Ruger PC Carbine functions perfectly with all ammunition fired, up to and including 6-hour 147 grain JHP. Feeding, extraction, and ejection were excellent. The recoil was light and very manageable, as was expected given the size and weight of the PC Carbine. The Agia 124 grain FMJ was chosen as the primary cartridge, with a sprinkling of Federal White Box 115 grain FMJ, Spear Gold Dot 124 grain GR DG HP, and Hornady 147 grain XTP ammunition. I really wanted the Ruger PC Carbine to like the Hornady 147 grain XTP, as this is one of my favorite 9mm cartridges, and the Glock 9mm pistol seemed to like it. Ejection was straight out to the right side, and most of my expended cases were either on the shooting table with me or just in front of me after they bounced off the lane wall. The Ruger PC Carbine really liked the Sig Sauer 147 grain Elite Performance SIG V-Crown JHP, and I'm glad that it did, as the Glock G45, G19, G17, G43, G48, and G34 seems to favor it as well. Hornady Custom 9mm Luger 147 grain XTP also seemed to like being sent through the Ruger PC Carbine. Both 147 grain loadings gave the best results. The Ruger PC Carbine did not like the Speer Gold Dot 124 grain GR DGHP at all, and gave the worst accuracy of the bunch. The Federal 115 grain FMJ seemed to do well in the accuracy department and would serve well as a plinking or range ammunition. To summarize, the Ruger PC Carbine seems to favor the heavier projectiles. It also does well with lighter, faster cartridges. Determining what ammunition to run through the Ruger PC Carbine is, of course, up to the user. Some may favor the lighter, faster ammunition, while others, like me, favor the heavier, albeit slower ammunition, if the firearm will run with it and is accurate. As the Ruger PC Carbine would be a survival piece, even when coupled with a good 9mm pistol that uses magazines that are compatible with your selected adapter, critters other than two-legged may need to be considered. Obviously, your chosen defensive round must be able to handle four-legged animals, and I would consider a heavier loading capable of taking down up to possible wolf-sized animals. Two-legged and four-legged animals can be highly unpredictable in how many projectiles they can soak up before succumbing to the effects of multiple impacts on their body. But with the Glock magazine adapter installed, you have a wide variety of magazine length and capacity to choose from. Some may scoff at putting a relatively medium-powered optic on a PCC, but if that's what you need to do to maximize the benefits of a PCC for your purposes, then it should be done. While I could never be able to approach all of the scenarios in which a PCC could be beneficial, neither do I want to discount them. Although many optics, magnified or not, are available, my choice of optic was the Nikon P223 3x32 scope, which is no longer available as Nikon ceased making rifle scopes. I did have to mount it almost at the rear of the rail to provide what I felt was a good eye relief and quick to get into action. Surprisingly, I had to remove the installed 1-inch spacer to shorten the LOP to 12.75 inches, something that is unheard of for me. However, in doing so, I was able to mount the scope a little bit more forward. The trick to mounting the Nikon P223 3x32 rifle scope was to have it mounted as low to the bore axis as possible, while allowing adequate space between the mounting rail and the lens housings. The worn Maxima 1-inch medium QD scope rings allowed just that. Providing just the right low profile that I was looking for, the scope and rings were as near perfect as I could ask for, with a 2-inch scope to bore axis height. The QD rings also allow me to detach the scope when I need open sights and reattach it just as quickly. The setup also held zero after removal and installation. While I like a substantial length of pull, the carbine length and eye relief of the scope dictated that I shorten things up a bit. Shortening the LOP was made simple by removing a stock spacer or two. With a shorter length of pull, simply pulling the now shorter stock into my shoulder placed my eye into perfect alignment with the scope, and a perfect scope picture was to be had. The Ruger PC Carbine just begs to be pulled in tight and close, what is needed for QCB work. If I need a longer LOP, a slip-on limb saver recoil pad can provide that. With the low 3 power of the scope, I can aim with both eyes open without difficulty. The LOP is also good for me to sight through the rear ghost sight, should an optic not be mounted. The Ruger PC Carbine is, after all, a firearm that would be considered in the survival class, given the takedown feature. A good dot sight would work as well, given that the PC Carbine is a short to medium distance firearm. I found that the Vortex Crossfire red dot sight works well, as would many others. If a dot sight, tubular or otherwise, or other optic is your thing, then mounting the sight will be no issue, as there is plenty of top rail to do so. The balance between LOP and eye relief is not an issue when running an optic such as these. The front accessory rail also provides a mounting point for a laser, light, or combination laser light, and that is exactly what I used it for. A green laser unit from GM Con was mounted to the front rail as an experiment really, but I did end up liking it there. I can quickly turn it on and off by sliding my support hand just forward of the sling mount. The one thing that I can say about the Ruger PC Carbine is that it provides for a lot of sighting options. The Ruger PC Carbine can serve a role of personal protector. Predators come in both 4-legged and 2-legged versions. In the immortal words of Dirty Harry Callahan,
man's got to know his limitations.
That applies to his chosen personal protection devices as well. That's not to say that the Ruger PC Carbine could not be used for hunting small game when necessary. The obvious limitation is the caliber. I am pretty sure that if shots were placed in a vital area, the 9mm round would be effective. The PCC does not fit into the 3-gun mindset, handgun, rifle, and shotgun. It is more of something that can extend the power and range of the handgun, but does not have the potential of a rifle or shotgun in inflicting damage and stopping threats. The PCC is more of a nice-to-have rather than need-to-have firearm. But that's not to say that if we do have a PCC, that we should not maximize its potential. Au contraire, we should be doing everything we can to maximize the effectiveness of a handgun cartridge in our chosen personal defense companion to achieve our desired result. That may require a bit more research in what ammunition works well out of the PCC, and improving the accuracy through modern optics. While hating to use the expression, "it is what it is," I do have to use it. What the Ruger PC Carbine is not is a precision target rifle, capable of placing multiple shots in one clean hole. The Ruger PC Carbine is a good choice in pairing up with a pistol-carbine combination that will serve you well in most survival conditions. If you already have a Ruger 1022 takedown, the Ruger PC Carbine also fits in the case along with numerous magazines, plenty of ammunition, and an optic. The receiver will not store with the P223 scope within the pouch, however. Due to its takedown characteristics, the Ruger PC Carbine fits in my travel luggage, a large backpack, and a small duffel-type roller bag. There are a number of storage options, and the Ruger PC Carbine can be quickly assembled and disassembled when needed. Other features of the Ruger PC Carbine make it user-friendly to both left-handed and right-handed shooters. Being a cross-eyed dominant, right-side dominant, left-sided long gun shooter, I have no problems with controls being where they are originally installed. Swapping out magazine adapters is a very simple process. If I happen to be carrying a Ruger SR Series 9mm pistol, the Glock magazine could be removed quickly and the SR magazine adapter installed, and vice versa, should I switch back to a Glock 9mm. My personal opinion is that the Glock G26, G19, G17, G45, G17L, or even a G34, coupled with the Ruger PC Carbine, would be an ideal combination to have. Even the magazine from a Glock G26 works well, and I like the shorter magazine for range work. If you are in the market for a PCC, a politically correct pistol caliber carbine, I can highly recommend the Ruger PC Carbine. At the time of this presentation, there are 22 models of the PC Carbine from which to choose. Mine happened to be the first of the models introduced by Ruger. Now, at the beginning of this presentation, when I was unpacking the Ruger PC Carbine from its case, I mentioned that there was something else in one of the two main pouches that I did not show, and that I would show it at the end of the presentation. Well, here it is. A Glock G26 Gen 5 in a We the People holster set up for my favorite carry method, cross draw. The G26 uses all the magazines that the Ruger PC Carbine can use, and I can quickly transfer it and the holster from the bag to my side if need be. Well, I come to the end of another Range Ronin Chronicle, and I thank you for sticking with me for this journey. I look forward to seeing you again for another gun or gear review. Until that time, stay safe out there.